Welcome back, everyone, to Sean's show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello. I'm with Alex behind the keys.
What's going on?
Hello, Alex. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
I fired Connor again, and we have Alex behind the keys. They're actually the same person. One of them is Australian version or British.
I'm Australian.
What's your race? Okay, I mean, I chose right. So, hello. Hi. We have a great show for you guys. Welcome. If you're a new listener, hello. I had a clip that did very well that maybe you saw, and maybe you're here watching the full thing. If so, hello. I'm like Gen Z Dave Ramsey. I had a clip that did very well on TikTok. I'm very happy with the results. I rallied an entire generation of people to bitch and moan about their financial system. I'm kidding. So I'm like Dave Ramsey. I'm like Gen Z Dave Ramsey. And truly the advice that I have to give, the financial advice I have to give to Gen Z is kill your father. If you really think about, people ask me all the time, they go, Sean, like, I'm really struggling financially. I have 3 jobs. I have a wife. We're renting a home right now. We don't even live in that high cost of living area, but I can't seem to save any money. Like, do you have any advice for me? I'm struggling. I'm in a crippling amount of student loan debt. I go, have you thought about killing your parent? Have you thought about patricide? Patricide is the #1 leading way to accelerate your wealth growth. Okay? I recommend it. If you kill your father, make sure he signs the will first. You can accelerate your ability to own a home. You want to own a home? And if you go, well, Sean, my parents don't own anything, I don't know what to tell you. You shouldn't have had avocado toast every day. So welcome. We have an excellent show. We have so much to get to. I'm very happy that you're here. We are going to talk about Iran. We're going to talk about the latest developments in Iran. More importantly than that, we're going to talk about the Oscars. The Oscars, of course, are more important than geopolitics. We all know that. We all know that what's more important than the Strait of Hormuz is Timothy Chalamet and what's going on with him. So we're going to talk about Timothy Chalamet and Iran, and we're going to talk about so much other stuff. What else do we have on the list, Alex? We have so much stuff to get to just sink our teeth into.
Arizona files, like the illegal gambling charges.
So Arizona, thank you. Arizona sued my favorite website ever, Kalshi.com, sponsor of the show. They are a sponsor, by the way. I am bought and sold and paid for by Kalshi. But so Arizona's suing Kalshi because Arizona says that Kalshi is a gambling platform. We're gonna talk about that. We have a lot to get to. So enjoy. Let's get right into it. Before I get started, please review the show on Spotify. Follow the show on Spotify. Thank you if you're already doing those things. I love you. Hello. I have to say these things or else you won't do it, okay? Subscribe, comment, DM me, follow me. Not in person, but on the internet, okay? This is a strictly parasocial relationship, so just so you know. If you see me in public, don't even look at me. If any one of you ever actually sees me in public, I don't want you to know who I am. Because if you go, are you Sean from? I'm just kidding. Of course, you can fucking say hi. I get one viral TikTok, and I'm like, if you want to take a photo with me, fuck you. No, no. The only time I've ever been recognized for my art is when I had a satirical website called Business Outsider. You ever get recognized for something that you gave up on? That's what happened to me. I was at the Amtrak station, and this woman that I went to high school with was like, "Hey," and it didn't even count. It's from high school. It wasn't even my art. She was like, "Hey, didn't you have a funny news website?" And I was like, "Yeah, I stopped doing that 5 years ago. And you still remember me from that? What about my podcast?" So I've had 13 espresso pods. With all of the introductions out of the way, I think we're ready to go. I think I've alienated. What I'd like to do is I like to have a 3-minute intro to ruin the retention curve of the video. That's ultimately what I do that for. So I only am left with the real ones. Because 99% of the people that have been listening so far, they've clicked away. And now I'm left with the OGs. So if you're still listening, here we go. So I was up until 5 a.m. yesterday talking to Claude about geopolitics. I was talking with Claude about the United States hegemonic order. And Claude and I had a great discourse. I was naked. I was naked on my laptop talking to Claude about the petrodollar. And Claude had a lot of interesting things to say. And now, I want to zoom out here because I think what people really are confused about with respect to why the U.S. has decided to bomb Iran, I think there's a lot of confusion. The administration, they know why they're going to Iran. They know. They're trying to obfuscate and they're trying to pretend that there's all of these different reasons they're going to Iran. Obviously, they're enriching uranium. That's a classic. They even have Israel's dragging us into it, which is probably somewhat true. But I think what's really important to think about here is that my take is this. Why now? Why now? Well, it's because why would we bomb Iran now? Why not 3 months later? Why not 3 months ago? Why right now? Well, it's because the US dollar as the global reserve currency is being threatened. It's being threatened by rivals. Okay, so you have rivals like the yuan, right? And you have rivals like maybe the BRICS nations, right? That are creating these alternative. You can think of them as like financial infrastructure plumbing, where you can basically trade oil, you can buy and sell oil, and you don't need to have the United States involved in that. And so with all of these things that are developing, with all these alliances and economic partnerships that are developing that don't have anything to do with the US, what does that mean? What does that mean? It's not good. It's not good for the global order. Well, I think it's good for the global order. I think it might actually be good. Everyone's talking about everyone like waves their arms and they're like, if we can't afford to go to a multipolar world. I don't like the world now. I don't like the unipolar world. You look around, I'm not that happy with it. I think a lot of people are not that happy with United States hegemony. Most people don't even know what that word means. Most people, you go, the US is a hegemonic power propped up by a petrodollar. And they go, I'm really hungry. And they go, I haven't eaten in 4 days. Can you have any food? And that's I'm like a it sucks to like talk about this stuff and try to connect with people on it because most people don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But I have a bigger thesis. I'm kind of giving you a word salad. My bigger thesis is this. It's really a statement. It's really a statement for the public. We must reopen the Strait of Hormuz now before Timothy Chalamet's reputation deteriorates any further. I'm like the president. If I was the president, that would be my message. I would go, we must reopen the Strait of Hormuz and we must get the oil flowing or else Timothy Chalamet is going to have to do more and more desperate takes, have more desperate takes to remain relevant. Okay? These things are connected. If the oil stops flowing, you can't make a movie. No one's going to have any money to go to the movies. Timothy Chalamet isn't going to get casted. He's going to panic, and he's going to go and talk about how ballet is dead. So wait a minute. So Timothy Chalamet, he goes, ballet is dead and irrelevant. And I'm supposed to give a fuck about that when the Strait of Hormuz is closed? The Strait of Hormuz, again, it's still closed. Well, they're letting a little bit through. It's kind of open now. But Timothy Chalamet, we're talking about the Oscars too. The Oscars dipped in viewership, which is always a good sign. You know, that means people are paying attention. That's always good. And I believe it's down. This is from the New York Times here. Oscar viewership slides 9% in first drop since 2020. Is that 2021. Wow. And I believe, wow, look at that chart. Oh my God. That's Oscars viewership annually?
Yeah.
From like
Oscar viewership.
if you're just listening, I mean it's fallen off a fucking cliff. Well, it's kind of bounced back recently, but not since like a decade ago. And that's the thing. It's like, I think people are having less and less. I'm sorry, guys. I have long COVID. You're going to have to excuse me. I'm dealing with a lot of health issues. I'm drinking crude oil, by the way. By the way, I drink crude oil. You ever wonder, like, what's Sean sipping on? I'm drinking crude oil. I'm drinking WTI. I'm drinking WTI Brent futures. I'm drinking WTI Brent futures contract oil. Okay, I'm drinking premium shit. It's tar. And I don't know. I don't think that anyone really cares about the Oscars anymore. Do I like going to the movies? Yeah, but they only make like 2 movies a year now. You know? They made like 2 movies. They made Marty Supreme, and they made One Battle After Another. Right? And then they made some like indie horror shit that you don't care about. That's the state of Hollywood. It's all YouTube now. And by the way, that article says that the Oscars are going to move to YouTube in 2029? In like can we maybe punch in on that? Wow, I really need better glasses. I'm like an old man. Can we blow that up even more? I mean, let's maybe a Iranian school. That's how much I want to blow it up. All right, that was bad. I'm sorry, dude. Could you go even more in? This is crazy. I'm like a. There we go. This is like an eye test. If you guys don't know, my monitor is like 20 feet away from me. Okay. So this is from the New York Times. The ratings decline as much as it would. I'm like, sorry, could you go even? Is that as much as it'll go in? I'm like, there we go. Okay. Oh, fine. Thank you. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Thank you, Alex. Sorry about that. Okay. The Grammys. Bear with us, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. So, yes, this is what I was trying to get to. So the Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which organizes the Oscars, does not have to sweat the ratings decline as much as it would have in the past. Why is that? ABC's half-century partnership with the Oscars will end after 2028. Thank fucking God. I don't even know why they're doing it anymore. In 2029, the Oscars will begin streaming exclusively on YouTube. Now, imagine winning an Oscar and it's on YouTube. Winning an Oscar used to mean something. Winning an Oscar, it really used to mean something. That meant that you were that means you probably put your fucking high heel into someone's throat to get ahead. You're probably talented in some way. You know, you probably to play the game a little bit, and you're in a great movie, and everyone loves you. And by 2029, by 2030, you're ahead of me, Alex. Mr. Beast is gonna host the fucking Oscars if he hasn't already. Mr. Beast will host. Mr. Beast is gonna own the Oscars. Mr. Beast is gonna be your god. Oh my God, is there an article on this already? This is insane. What is this? Oh my God. Is Mr. Beast taking... Truly, I mean, this is just a suicide. Put me on suicide watch. Can you go back up to the headline? That's fucking crazy. This is from People Magazine, which, why is that even still around? Is Mr. Beast taking over as host of the Oscars? Why Conan O'Brien referenced the YouTuber in the 2026 Academy Awards post-credits scene. Oh my God. Hey, you know what though? You know what? Let's just stay on his face for a moment. You know, I was very critical of Mr. Beast in my last episode, or a couple episodes ago. And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, well, what have you done? What have you done with your life? You're just jealous of Mr. Beast. I promise you, I am not jealous of Mr. Beast. I promise you that I am not jealous of a guy that's building an amusement park in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Beast is creating an amusement park in Saudi Arabia 400 miles away from where we're just genociding an entire region. He's like, what if I made a He's like, you know, what if he's making I mean, guys, I don't know if you know anything about Saudi Arabia, by the way. Saudi Arabia uses imported slave labor to build their entire, you know, Riyadh. There was that big ass city that they were going to build that they canceled. The what was it called? One or Infinity or some dumbass shit like that. Mile long. It's just a mile of corpses is what it really, it's a mile of corpses. What was it called?
I think it was called Line City.
Oh, Line. Oh, the Line. I think it was called the Line or some bullshit like that. So yeah, Mr. Beast is like making a Saudi Arabian amusement park where they're gonna have a drop tower, and at the top of the drop tower, you're gonna actually be able to see Iran getting bombed. That's Can you fact check me on that? I'm pretty sure Mr. Beast is making a Saudi Arabian amusement park.
It's called Beastland.
It's called Beast. Oh my God. Okay, can we? Oh my! It's in Saudi Arabia. It's gonna be in Saudi Arabia.
It's in Riyadh.
It's gonna be in Riyadh. Oh my God. So Beastland.
Oh wait, let's see if it's still. Maybe it's canceled.
Oh fuck. I hope so.
Looks like it might have already happened. Let me do a bit more research on this.
So well, hopefully it is. But so this is and people that defend Mr. Beast, I'm like, okay, yeah, has he helped people? Yes. Okay. But you look at the net effect of what Mr. Beast has done for society. Mr. Beast could build 1 million wells in Africa. It wouldn't make up for the fact that he's poisoned an entire generation of minds, mentally and physically. He's selling them these trash chocolate bars. It's crazy. This guy is crazy. This guy is a James Bond villain. He's a James Bond villain. He has no soul. He definitely has no soul. If you agree and make a plan to build an amusement park in Riyadh, you have no soul. You have no conscience. You have no conscience. I mean, do I want to go to Beastland? Of course I do. Would I accept an invite to Beastland? I will not do the Riyadh Comedy Festival. You know what I will do? I will go to the opening day of Beastland. Beastland, by the way, is where Mr. Beast, it may be canceled, it may not be, but I hope that Beastland happens. If Beastland gets built, I'm going. And if they use slave labor, even better. Kidding, joking. But I'm going to Beastland, and Mr. Beast is like, "What's up, everyone? Come on in." And it's just a bunch of roller coasters, and you're going to be riding the roller coasters, and you're going to look out on the roller coasters. They're going to go so high that you're going to look out onto the Middle East, and you're going to just see that is what you have. That, by the way, is best case scenario. That's our outlook for the future right now. Best case scenario, you're able to spend $20,000 to go to Riyadh and go to Beastland. And then you go into Beastland. This is the best case scenario. You get on the ride, which was made by slaves, And you're on the roller coaster, you know, your girlfriend, you're like, wow, baby, I can't believe we're at Beastland. You're like eating a Mr. Beast ketamine supplement, whatever he's into these days. You're doing kratom or whatever the fuck they do in Saudi Arabia. A Feastable. You're eating a Feastable. And then your girlfriend's like, wow, baby, like, this is so fun. Like, I'm so glad we got out and finally did something fun. Like, this is so silly and stupid. And you're like, haha, yeah. And then you're going up the roller coaster and you're like, and you're like, oh my God, this is going to be so fun. And then you get up to the top, and right before the big roller coaster drop, you're going to see a mushroom cloud. And it's going to be bigger than your thumb. And you know what that means? That means you go, and then the roller coaster drops and you go, woo! And they go, and that's the end of Beastland. That's the end. It's going, Beastland is going to be Chernobyl 2. So yeah, this is the guy that's hosting the Oscar. And that's why I can't, as someone who's adjacent to the entertainment industry, I don't subscribe to the fact that I'm in the entertainment industry. I'm different. I'm immune to everything. I don't take money from anyone. My intentions are pure. I'm uncorruptible. You understand? Except for Kalshi. Kalshi.com/Sean's show. They're not a sponsor. And so it makes me sick to like, that's why no one wants, do you think that so let me get this straight. Oscars viewership is down and the plan is to move it to YouTube. The plan is to move it to YouTube where I watch video essays. Wait, so the plan, hold on. So the Oscars, here's their plan to stay relevant. They're going to end their contract with ABC and they're going to move to YouTube, which is where I watch 17-year-olds kill a family of 3 in a DUI, where I watch body cam footage of a 17-year-old guy on Xanax walk away unharmed from one of the most horrific car accidents. That's what YouTube's going to be. YouTube's going to be, hey, would you like to watch a DUI? Would you like to watch body cam footage of one of the most horrific car crash scenes of your life? And then after that, it's going to be like, welcome to the 2029 Oscars, ladies and gentlemen. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. So that's fun. That's a little thing to look forward to is the Oscars are going to be on YouTube. You know who else is on YouTube? Sean Riley. I'm on YouTube. So I'm like we're on like the same level. In fact, I'm moving to cable. I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm doing a deal with Time Warner. I'm doing a deal with HBO. But I want to talk a little bit about Timothy Chalamet. So Timothy Chalamet, I believe, was snubbed. By the way, I didn't watch the Oscars. Okay, I was too busy preparing for the show. So Timothy Chalamet, I guess, made some comments about ballet and I believe opera. Timothy Chalamet, who by the way, hot guy. Every woman I know is obsessed with Timothy Chalamet. This is a phenomena that, you know, as a straight man, even I understand. I understand the appeal. He's not hot, but that makes him hot. You know what I mean? Like he's a great actor. I love Timothy Chalamet. And I love that he's real. You know, and that's the problem with you fucking people is we cannot expect a celebrity to agree with us 100% of the time. Okay? You want to know why? Because they're aliens from outer space. They're not human. Okay? You don't have that much in common with celebrities. Celebrities are lizards. They're lizard people. No, they're humans just like us. And, you know, this is not a fucking controversy. Timothy Chalamet Timothy Chalamet, he like shits on ballet and says ballet is not relevant in 2026. And he's right. Is it so crazy? So are we just going to be dishonest? Are we just suddenly going to be dishonest? Like, maybe he didn't say it in the right way. Maybe he didn't deliver it right, which is something I do a lot. Okay, I get it. But for Timothée Chalamet, now, do I wish that Timothée Chalamet would weigh in on Iran? Yeah. Here's the thing. You're mad at Timothée Chalamet because he was like, ballet's not relevant in the modern era. I'm mad at Timothée Chalamet because he won't take a stance on whether or not we should reopen the Strait of Hormuz. We are mad at him for very different reasons. Okay? You're mad at Timothée Chalamet for some comments he made about opera. I'm mad at Timothée Chalamet because I don't know if he supports the petrodollar system. And I need to know. If I'm going to be a fan of you, I cannot have you supporting the U.S. imperialist petrodollar system. Okay? I need to know. Timothy, let me hear your take. Let me hear your take, Tim. So yeah, let's go to Iran. So Iran, I believe so this was actually pretty crazy. The one of the higher up counterterrorism government officials has recently resigned. And this is like a massive story. And he wrote here's the story, here's the headline here. U.S. counterterrorism director Kent. U.S. counterterrorism director Joe Kent resigns over war. Quote, Iran. Sorry, could you punch in there? I'm like, I need like LASIK. Oh, that's much better. I'm like an old man. So this guy Joe Kent, he was a counterterrorism director for the government, for the military, and he resigned over the war, and he goes, Iran posed no imminent threat. So this guy resigns, and he's like one of the main guys, and he is saying that Iran posed no imminent threat, and I actually disagree with him. Okay, but in the sense that I agree with him in the sense that Iran did not pose an imminent threat to our physical safety. Okay, but Iran did pose a physical threat, or they posed an economic threat to the U.S. And that's why we went there. So he goes, I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war, Kent said in a letter addressed to President Godking, DJT. Kent, a promoter of far-right conspiracy theories. Why you gotta add that in there? The fuck? Kent, wait, hold on. Why was he the counterterrorism director if he promotes far-right conspiracy theory? So Kent, and that is the funny. What I'm saying, Israel is such a massive wedge in everyone's belief system. It really is. Because Kent, I'm like, okay, he's a far-right conspiracy theorist promoter. That means I think he's probably a Christian evangelical. But here he is saying that Israel should. So here he goes, accuse the president of being deceived by Israel into supporting a war against Iran. Wow. So this guy, Kent, what is a far-right conspiracy theory? Something like the Jews control the weather. Actually, that does track. Never mind. So basically this guy quit and he was like, we got dragged into another war with Israel and I can't afford to do that. And this is like a high up guy. So it's a bad look. It's a bad look for the Trump administration because it's another piece of evidence. It's just another piece of evidence that we don't have a plan. We didn't have a plan going in, right? And we don't have a plan while we're there, and we're not going to have a plan on our way out. And there's never been the plan. The plan is to make money. The plan is if there's money to be made in Iran, then we're going to go do it. That's the plan. Stupid. Yeah, we're going to go westernize. Yeah, we're going to make Iran a liberal Western democracy. What the fuck are you guys talking about? That is so racist. That's so... During Ramadan? You want to bomb Iran during Ramadan? Okay? You want to starve a country that's already starving. That's fucked up. They're already hungry. And you're going to destroy their oil facility? I mean, it's I really can't do it. I can't bear to see all of, not even the war itself I'm numb to, but all the people that just get fucking tricked every time the US goes on some ridiculous foreign military adventure. It's a military adventure. It's for guys that have no purpose in their life and they want to go shoot some shit and they want a purpose and they need an enemy. We just need an enemy. We need an enemy because why else do we build all these toys? We need an enemy because it's like, you know what it is? You know what the war to me is? War and the military industrial complex. Here's how I think about it. The US military industrial complex, it's like when your mom spends all day making you a really nice meal. Right? You ever come home and your mom, like when you were a kid, and your mom made you like a really nice dinner, and then you get home and you've had like 3 bags of Doritos and a Slurpee, and you come home with a full belly, and your mom has this beautiful, platter of food laid across the kitchen table. It smells amazing. And then you look in her eyes and you go, I'm not hungry. And you know what she says to you? She goes, well, why the fuck did I make all this food then? And that's the military industrial complex. That's the military industrial complex. We walk into the government and we see all these F-35s, B-52s, Tomahawk missiles. And most of us in America, we look at this stuff and we're like, oh my God, like, thank you for making all these weapons. Like, thank you so much. Oh my God, look at that. What an incredible, spread of weapon. What an incredible spread. It smells great. It looks great. You go to the government and the government's like, okay, well, let's light it up. Where should we go? Dig in. And then you go, I'm actually not really interested in a foreign. I'm not really that interested in regime change right now. I just want healthcare. And then the U.S. government, you know what they say? Well, they go, well, why the fuck did I make it a B-52 then? Why the fuck did I make a B-52 if you don't even want me to use it? Why the fuck did I make an F-35? Why the hell did I make all these Tomahawk missiles if you don't even want to decapitate a regime in the Middle East? That's very rude, sir. Sir, that is very rude. I spent all this time. It's abusive. It's abusive. The American people, we tell the government, we go, why are we going to war? It's a waste of money. And you know what the U.S. military does? They start crying like little pussies. They go, well, what am I going to do with all this stuff I made? I worked really hard on all this stuff I made. I made a B-52. Can I fly it a little bit, please? But I worked really hard on it. And then we go, okay, you can go to Syria. Just don't tell anyone. But can I fly the B-52? I know we don't have any enemies that match to our military might, and building these things is just a projection of our strength, and we don't need to use them. But can I fly the B-52 just once, please? It's like opening a Christmas gift early. Like Christmas Eve or a few days before, you fucking know that the Xbox is under there. All of my analogies are from a very white privileged childhood. All of my analogies are like, you guys know how great you guys know when your mom cooked you food and gave you gifts? That's every analogy. I am very WASP. This is a WASP show. And that is a pejorative. That is a derogatory. But it's like opening a Christmas gift early. It's like, come on, like, I know that's a B-52. That was me growing up. Except my dad's white. Is that a brown guy? No, you can leave him up there. Jesus. I was like, I didn't mean like that. Is that a brown guy? Oh yeah. That's really cute. I was an only child, by the way. I have only child syndrome. That's why I have a solo podcast. So So what I but what I really want to dig in here on is there's this phenomena I think that goes on whenever we there's this phenomena that happens. There's this phenomenon that happens. There's this phenomenon that happens. That's for none of the women that listen to this. That's a Chapel Roan reference, I think. All right, or maybe I think so. A phenomenon. You ever heard that song, Alex? It's going on and on. It's going on and on. It's a regime change in Iran. It's regime change in Iran. It's regime change in Iran. On and on. Can we look up the lyrics to Phenomenon? By the way, I've always maintained this. I think this is the most hilarious thing I've ever thought of in my life, and no one thinks it's funny. I think that why does Chapel Roan, that name sounds like the name of an African country. To me, Chapel Roan sounds like Burkina Faso. You know what I mean? Like you've got like Burkina Faso, you got Namibia, Sierra Leone, Chapel Roan. To me, Chapel Roan, it sounds like a country in Africa that the US has pillaged over and over again. Chapel Roan sounds like a country in Africa that's at civil war. Chapel Roan sounds like that's where China's investing a lot into telecom. People go, have you heard, Chapel Roan? I go, oh yeah, isn't that the country in Africa where China's doing a lot of telecom investment because they're trying to win Africa? Can we punch it on these lyrics a little more? Because I think I just stumbled on an excellent song parody. I'm very musical, you guys. You guys don't know that about me. I know I took AP music theory, which makes me a fucking prick. Can you zoom in even more? I'm so sorry, Alex. I'm like, okay. This is great. You know what's funny? When you put most song lyrics on a page, it sounds like a toddler wrote the lyrics. Hit it like rom pom pom. Hit it like rom pom pom. Get it hot like Papa John. Make a bitch go on and on. It's a phenomenon. Okay, that's good. Okay. I think I got a good parody. You ready? Can you go up again to the top of the chorus here? Okay, ready? Hit it hard like Tehran. Hit it hard like Tehran. Get it hot like the Middle East in Iran. Make a school blow up on and on and on. That was bad. It's a regime change in Iran. Get it hot like Papa John. Why are we referencing Papa John? That guy said the N-word. That CEO is canceled. Chapel Roan, is this your drift to the right? She's like, get it hot like Nick Fuentes. Get it hot. I love Kanye West now. No, Chapel Roan I actually really like. She fired her manager because her manager, I believe, was like a Zionist or something. Like super pro, like Greater Israel. And Chapel Roan was like, fired them. I think, or no, her manager was like in the Epstein files or something. So she fired him. It was pretty cool. Shout out to Chapel Roan. I'm a big fan. I like her music. I actually really like Chapel Roan's music. I think it makes me a mature guy that's in touch with my sexuality. Chapel Roan is an icon. And if she becomes a billionaire, she will be the only ethical billionaire. If you and honestly, Taylor Swift too. People go, there's no ethical billionaires. I'm like, come after my girls one more time. Come after Beyonce. Come after Taylor Swift. I fucking dare you. I dare you to call Beyonce unethical one more time. You sniveling little fuck. You sniveling little shit. There's no ethical billionaires. Taylor Swift, have some fucking respect. That woman wrote so many songs about heartbreak. Okay? You know how much she had to tap into her emotions in order to write the same song 100 times? I mean, I'm on episode 132. I ran out of shit to say. This is the fucking... Guys, I've been doing this 2.5 years. The only thing I've ever said is that Chapel Roan sounds like an African country. That's the only thing I've ever said. 132 episodes. Okay? I'm digging at the bottom of the barrel here. Taylor Swift wrote 100 unique songs about how every guy she's ever dated hasn't been good enough. And that's powerful. That is called value. That's called $1 billion of value. So, we love pop stars. We love pop stars. We love pop stars on the show. You know who's an unethical billionaire? Mr. Beast. Senor Beast. That's an unethical billionaire. Stop focusing on the fucking celeb. Hey, so what? So what Taylor Swift has $1 billion, you know? Actually, I think it's fucked up. I honestly, the more I think about it, I'm like, she should give that money. Never, you know what? I retract everything I said. Let's move on to this Kalshi story, which I think is very interesting. So you guys probably already know my perspective on this. I am obviously pro gambling. I actually think I actually was part of a legislative action to legalize gambling for children. I was part of a legislative I guess you could call it a backdoor group. I was part of a backdoor group of scumbags who was trying to get the gambling age lowered from 18 to 0. See, let me ask you this question. Would the founding fathers have wanted a toddler to be able to bet on Kalshi? And I think the answer is yes. Ask yourself this question. Would the founding fathers, would George Washington have thought it was morally respectable for a 4-year-old to go on Polymarket and bet on the death of the Ayatollah? Look at that man. If you're just listening, beautiful portrait of George Washington. I think, yes. I think that George Washington would have recognized the civil liberties of 4 or 5-year-olds, 6 years old. By the time you're 7 years old, you should be able to go on Kalshi.com and make some fucking money. And if you don't agree with that, you can fuck off. Okay? When I was 7 years old, you know what I was doing? I was counting coins. You know where I'd be at right now? I'm not Jewish, I swear to God. I swear to God, you guys. I love Judy. I'm a friend of the Jews, too. I swear to God. But I literally was. My dad would give me coins to count. Is that fucking crazy? So what is the story, though? So Arizona, which is crazy because Arizona is actually, kind of purple, right? Politically. So I think this story is a long time coming. This story is a long time coming for Kalshi and Polymarket. Kalshi and Polymarket, if you're living under a rock, if you're a broke boy, I'll fill you in. Kalshi Polymarket is how all of the hottest, coolest, youngest guys are getting their bread up. Okay? And what do I mean by that? I mean Barron Trump. Barron Trump is on Polymarket calling his dad and going, "Hey, Dad, did you kill him yet? Oh, you haven't? Okay, cool. I'll put $100K on it." So here's the story. Arizona files illegal gambling charges against predictions platform Kalshi. Now, the words prediction platform are doing all the work there. Okay? Kalshi is not a prediction platform. It's a casino. Kalshi's lawyers and their marketing department, they are evil fucking devil worshiping fucks. I'm like full Alex Jones right now. They worship Satan. So do I, by the way. But I worship a benevolent Satan. I'm a satanic atheist. The people at Kalshi are religiously satanic. It's a totally different thing. I'm an atheistic Satanist. You want to know what that means? I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the afterlife. I do believe in hell. That's all. And I love Satan. Clip that up. I love Satan. If you think about Okay, let me back up a little bit. No, if you really think about it, God is Satan. God is evil. Let me just ask you this. What do you think of when I ask you, what would you call an entity that's an all-powerful thing that projects endless evil and suffering into the world? You would say, oh, that's probably the devil. And I would ask you, okay, well, what does God do? Didn't he do all that stuff? So if you're Christian, you're actually a Satanist. That's a plot twist. If you pray to God every day, you're actually if you pray to the Christian God every day, you're actually praying to the thing that you believe projects endless suffering into the world. You're a Satanist. Welcome to the club, motherfucker. So what is Arizona doing here? It's very interesting. So Arizona, I believe, is it's a lawsuit, right? And they're suing Kalshi. They're suing Kalshi for they're alleging, the state of Arizona is alleging that Kalshi and Poly Market are actually not what they say they are. Because Kalshi and Poly Market, they say that they're an event contract platform. That's a really nice way of saying that you let people bet on whether or not we will get nuked. Creating a market, we need to stop creating markets for everything. We don't need a market for whether or not Charlie Kirk and Erica... Oh, ouch. Fuck, sorry. We don't need a market for whether or not Erica Kirk and JD Vance are going to get married before the end of the year. We don't need a market for that. We don't need... And by the way, if that is something that you want to bet on, let's call it what it is. Can we start calling Kalshi and Poly Market what they are? They're digital casinos. They are digital casinos, and they're worse than casinos. You want to know why? At least casinos are fair. At least you're all losing money equally. Kalshi and Poly Market, the elites are using Kalshi and Poly Market to just fucking make money on the knowledge that they have because they know the guys that are bombing Iran. How is that fair? And then I get fucked. Because of course I'm on Kalshi. Of course I'm betting every day. I've had 10 shots of espresso. You don't think I'm day trading on Kalshi? I'm like the opposite of Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey will be like, look, you don't need debt. Stop door dashing with your Amex. And I go, if you're not day trading on Kalshi, you're going to die poor. And I'm right. Dave Ramsey's wrong. Take a fucking risk. Go outside and take a risk today. I'm telling you, go outside and take a risk your life today. Okay, so don't do that. Not in like a crazy way, but I've had a lot of caffeine today, guys. I'm sorry. I mean that in the metaphorical sense. Take a calculated risk. A smart risk, not a stupid risk. Take a smart risk. Test your cocaine. That's all I'm trying to tell you to do. So let's see. Arizona, this is from the Wall Street Journal. Arizona doesn't allow unlicensed wagering. But balance. Sorry, I'm like, could you go one more in, Alex? I'm so sorry, dude. I'm like, there we go. I should just ask you to keep zooming until it's one letter per screen. Honestly, that's beautiful. Okay. So Arizona doesn't allow unlicensed wagering businesses and bans election betting. All right, well, now I'm anti-Arizona. I'm never going to fucking move there. It's fucking wet towels. The state charged the companies with 20 counts of illegal betting and wagering. Now, I agree with this. Okay? Calling Kalshi an investing platform where you can buy event contracts, that's like buying meth from a meth dealer and being like, no, I'm focused on my wellness. It's a wellness supplement. That's how fucking stupid, that's how out there this claim is. And I cannot believe it's worked for them for so long. That is really what it's like. If someone tells me that they're investing on Kalshi, I'm like, okay, so you're mentally ill. You're mentally ill. You're doing again, unless you diversify. See, most people, they put all their money into one event contract. I'm in 20 different event contracts at one time. I'm diversified. Sometimes I make a bet that I know is going to pay off, right? Like, will the petrodollar cease to exist in a month? How about that? Can we get some really... See, that's my problem with Kalshi. Kalshi is... All the bets on Kalshi are so westernized. I want to get some fucking... Let's get some crazy shit in there. How about, will the United States fall by 2028? Can we get some fucking interesting ones in there? Kalshi is so fucking crazy because it's created a market that's incentivizing people in unimaginable ways. You know what? You know what the great analogy is that I read? You want to know why you can't take a life insurance policy out on someone else? Well, it's because let's really scratch our heads on that one for a moment. Why is it? It's a crime. It's a crime to take a life insurance policy out on someone other than yourself. Now, why would that be? Oh, maybe because if that was legal, maybe people might be incentivized to kill the person that they took the life insurance policy out on. Now, Kalshi is the same exact thing. If you create a financial market where you're incentivizing the public or certain people even, where you can go, hey, what's the odds that we bomb the country of Chapel Road? Okay. If you create a market where you're like, will the U.S. invade Burkina Faso by 2028? If I'm a fucking military general and I see that market, I go, hey, maybe I put $100K into this market and maybe we just do a little excursion into Burkina Faso. It totally disrupts not that the military had any integrity to begin with. Let's also not forget this. Let's not forget that Kalshi and Polymarket are more of the same, but it's just more palatable and understandable to the public. It's more of the same. You want to know what the old version of Kalshi was? Oil futures. That's been around forever. You've always been able to bet on the rise and fall of countries, regime change. These are things you've always been able to bet on, okay? Now you just don't. Now they're making it easy. Now you don't need to know about Forex markets. Kalshi is a way for people with less autism to do this stuff. I don't know if you guys, I've been trading foreign currencies since I came out of the fucking womb. Is that the price of, by the way, Palantir, our favorite stock, is down today. Shout out to our friend Alex Karp for being a wonderful guy. Oil. Is that oil? Oil, if you're just listening, it's spiked like 30%. It's insane. Palantir is up. It's actually been it's been great. That's the reason we're going to war is because the stocks were down. The reason we're at war with Iran is because the U.S. stocks were down, and it's almost spring break. It's almost spring break. The stocks were down, and the executives and the politicians were like, I gotta sell some stock. I got my fucking wife's yelling at me about going to fucking Kosovo. That's why we go to war. We go to war because lobbyists and defense contractor executives, when their stocks go down, when there's in times of peace, the defense contractors are actually the ones that are angry. When we're not at war, that is war for the defense contractors. Okay? When we're not at war, That is when the defense contractors suffer. And they suffer because there's no use for them. And they can't go to Tulum with their wives. And that's why war has to be the status quo. War has to be the status quo to keep everything chugging along. Okay? We need it. We also need our friend Timothy Chalamet to distract you. All right? We need Timothy Chalamet to make fun of ballet. Hey, you know what? Let Timothy Chalamet shit on ballet. Release the fucking Epstein files. Can we release the Epstein files, please? Have we not? Are there more? Pardon me if I don't give a fuck about what Timothy Chalamet has to say about opera. Release the Epstein files and free Gaza, bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry I don't care about what a little rat boy thinks about an art form. Also, I mean, he is a great actor, though. He's an excellent actor. Forgive me, guys. I have a new day job that's been very demanding, so you're going to have to pardon me while I check my phone to make sure I'm not getting fired. We're all good. We're back. So what's last? So here's a fun one. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. So speaking of Palantir, I cover this occasionally on the show. We have to talk about this because I cannot believe that this is still something that Peter Thiel is doing. Peter Thiel is still talking about the Antichrist. How bored can you be? How bored can you be that you spend months of your life? This is what happens when you become a billionaire, your mind breaks. I'm working on a theory, you guys. When you become a billionaire, your mind fucking breaks and you either turn into like a religious, evangelical, warmongering, Western, power-hungry, fucking psychopath, war pig monster, or you get into like some really crazy esoteric shit like the Antichrist, which is honestly the same thing. It is the same thing. So this is from the New York Times. So I guess Peter Thiel, by the way, I'm on tour, seanreillycomedy.com for all of my upcoming tour dates. Peter Thiel is also on tour. Peter Thiel is going on a tour. He's almost like he's doing a stand-up tour. He's like, yo, what's up, YouTube? Come check me out. I'm going to talk about the Antichrist. I'm going to Rome. I'm going to Tokyo. I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to Burkina Faso. I'm doing a live hour-long lecture on the Antichrist. Excuse me. So this is from a couple days ago, from the New York Times. So check this out. Peter Thiel fears the Antichrist is coming. In Rome, some call his view heresy. Okay. The right-wing tech investor is giving lectures near the Catholic Church's administrative heart. Commentators there are rejecting his apocalyptic vision. Now, let me say this. You know you are evil as fuck when the Catholic Church says that you're fucking evil and you're creepy. Peter Thiel is doing lectures on the Antichrist outside the Vatican like some sort of edgelord troll. Like a edgelord live. He's like edgelord live. That's how you know that's how you know you're in some evil fucking shit. That's how you know you're involved in some really evil shit where when you start talking about what you're interested in, like the Antichrist, the fucking Catholic Church comes out and they're like, dude, you're being creepy. Peter Thiel is outside the Vatican being like, the Antichrist is coming back. All we want. And then the guys that are in the church fucking kids come out and they go, hey man, you're scaring everyone. Hey man, you're scaring people. So this article, it goes on. I mean, it's like, yeah, let's get into the meat here. It's just like, now Mr. Thiel, let's right here. Now, listen to this. Now, Mr. Thiel is encountering resistance from Christian thinkers in the Roman Catholic Church, just as he tries to build support for his idea. What kind of support are you trying to build? Are you trying to are you supporting that he's coming back? Are you supporting the Antichrist is coming back? What are you trying to do with this movement? That's what I don't understand. Peter Thiel's waving his arms, saying that the Antichrist could be coming back. It's bro, first of all, you're in the Epstein files. You fuck kids. You're the fucking Antichrist. So don't wave your arms and tell me to be scared of the Antichrist. Cannot be worse than Peter Thiel. If Peter Thiel spends all his time, I don't know where he gets this time. Aren't you a technology investor? Don't you have board meetings to go to? Thank God I didn't make it to that level of corporate America where I'm in these board meetings where some people have to sit in board meetings listening to Peter Thiel wax poetic about the Antichrist. He's all over the place. Some wore badges identifying them as guests of the quote, the Biblical Antichrist Conference. Oh, it's a conference. Okay. I want to go. Can I go? Many appeared to be men in their 20s and 30s. Oh, you don't say. Though a few women also entered. I doubt that. Trans women, maybe. Kidding. A few women also. Here's the thing. We got to wrap it up. But Alex Karp, who's the CEO of Palantir, Peter Thiel, these guys, Alex Karp went on CNBC today, Alex Karp went on CNBC this week and basically said that the advent of AI is going to take economic and cultural power away from educated women and return it to rural blue collar men. Dude, you're scaring the hoes, man. All these AI executives, stop scaring the hoes, bro. Please. It's bad enough. This shit is bad enough. I think if Alex Karp got his dick sucked, I think the world would be a much better place. I think if Peter Thiel got his dick sucked, he'd forget all about the Antichrist. Can you just go have sex, please? Can you go indulge in a little bit of humanity? And that's what these AI people can't do. They cannot indulge in humanity. They've become these this is the evolution of Puritan evangelicalism. What we have now is a crazy world where the tech oligarchs are flirting with puritanical evangelicalism where they don't fuck, they don't drink coffee, and they have all these values. They don't jack off. They're doing semen retention. They're on testosterone. They're on Zyn. But one thing they do allow is turning the other cheek when your friend is fucking a kid. That's very important. That's in the Bible. That is in the Bible, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show today. I think this is all over the place. So, that's art. Sometimes you're all over the place, and so am I. But we did the thing. Thank you, Alex. We'll see you on the Patreon, patreon.com/Sean Show. We're going to keep the show rolling. We have so much that we didn't get to, right? Bunch of shit that we didn't get to. Not shit. It's good. It's good. It's shit. It's shit. The world is shit, but have fun and go have some sex consensually with another adult and stay happy. All right. I'm really stalling here. All right. We'll see you next week. Bye.